Hello and welcome to Accent Excellence. I'm Chuck Lionberger. We're kicking off 2016 here at Mountain View Elementary School with the annual Hour of Code. Also, we're kicking off a new pilot program with propane-fueled school buses down at Glenver High School. All this and more on Accent Excellence coming up next.
Cared then, I need you to care now. Don't turn a blind eye to teenage drinking.
Hi and welcome back to Accent Excellence. We're here at Mountain View Elementary School and joining me is Susan Price. She's the computer coordinator here at Mountain View. And Susan, we've got a very special event that's going on today here at Mountain View as well as all across schools, not just here in Roanoke County, not just here in Virginia, but really all across the United States. What's going on today?
We are working on our Hour of Code. And everybody asks, well, what is code? I don't know what code is. Well, code is, and I ask especially the kindergartners, has any of you kids, which they've gone now, but ever played a video game? And they just, oh, yes, you know. And I said, have you ever heard of Angry Birds? Have you ever, and they just, yes, and raised their hand. So I said, well, coding is giving commands or creating commands like for the Angry Bird to do and different actions to do. So it all falls under computer science. And computer science is involved in technology. It's all about computers. And so each class I work with, kindergartners, first and second, I'm spending an hour with them, and we're teaching the students how to code or write programs for video games.
Now let's stop and think about that a minute, okay? If I'd have said to you, hi, I want you to teach programming to kindergartners, you'd have thought I was crazy. But yet they're learning it, and not just learning it, they're really excelling at this, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And it just blows my mind. You can go around while they're creating these things, and there are some kindergartners or students that they get it. I mean, they could do it better than me. It's just these young minds. And so, yeah. It's
very exciting, and in fact, you know, you talk about there are some that get it, but more importantly, though, are the ones who don't necessarily get it right off the bat. And that's actually even the more exciting part of it is learning from a mistake, because that's actually where the real learning is, isn't it?
Right, it is. And I tell the students, don't be afraid to make a mistake, because that's how we learn. If you don't make a mistake, you might be getting it, you know, just by chance. So yes, don't get upset if you make a mistake. It's okay. You just keep trying. And even when they're doing the programming, if they don't get it right the first time, then a window pops up and it says, try again. So you really get to do it over and over again until you get it right.
And this is a skill that, again, you know, we're dealing with kindergartners, first graders, and even second graders. They're just starting this journey of education and getting them to understand the importance of it's okay to fail.
Yes, definitely.
So tell me a little about, you know, these are skills and mindsets that they need, not just here in a computer lab, but pretty much in every aspect of their learning from now up until they graduate and well beyond, of the understanding that it's okay to fail. You'll learn from failure.
Right. And it is, yeah. So like when they, well, some students get all upset when they do make a mistake. And, you know, as I said before, you know, I just tell them, it's okay. It's okay. You know, if you're out on the playground or something and you're trying to throw a basketball or something and you don't get it, well, You just keep trying until you get it, and it's okay.
And that's all about the learning process.
Right.
What's the big takeaway for all of these kids? You see, I mean, behind us here we have Minecraft and Infinity and Star Wars and things like that. What's the takeaway for these students when it comes to what they're learning?
Don't be afraid to try something new, and it's okay to make a mistake, and you just don't quit. You just keep going.
This, by the way, is also not just something that's done here at school. This actually anybody can code, and anybody can learn to code, can't they?
Yes, they can.
How can they do that?
They can go to code.org/learn, I believe that's it, and they can do it at home. They can do it on their tablet, on their PC computer.
And there's a lot of lessons that are available there on code.org.
Oh my gosh.
For folks to learn programming.
Oh, very many.
Yeah. And the hope, of course, is that some of these students, maybe all, but at least some, develop an interest in computer science.
Oh, definitely. And we definitely need for every student to be able to try this, this hour of code. And especially women too, because of course years ago when computer science was created, it was mostly men, and women can do it too.
Oh, absolutely. There were a lot of girls that you were working with earlier. I was working with as well. Very sharp, and we're picking it up very well. So it's another exciting option for students here in Roanoke County, across Virginia, across the nation. And again, you can be involved in learning how to write code. It's all there at code.org. And Susan, thanks so much for being with us. And folks, we want you to stay right there because we've got a lot more Accent Excellence still to come.
Have you ever wanted to make a difference in the life of an animal but didn't know how? The Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection is looking for volunteers to assist with the daily care of their animals. Volunteer opportunities include cat socialization, dog walking, front desk or kennel assistant, off-site adoption events, rescue networking, or shelter photography. As a volunteer, your time and talents will make a difference in the life of an animal. For more information on how to become a volunteer, call or email the Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection.
Hi, and welcome back to Accent Excellence. We're here at Glenver High School, and joining me again is Supervisor of Transportation Mike Stovall. And Mike, we've got something exciting that we've been working on now for actually several months here at Roanoke County Public Schools, and it all has to do with a bus like this and that green sticker. Tell me what's going on here.
Well, the green sticker in the bus is propane, and it's actually cutting edge. First off, have to be thankful to the school board and superintendent for embarking into this endeavor, not only through Bluebird and Carter Machinery, who makes the bus, but also Davenport Energy as far as the propane is concerned. Really, the propane bus brings three components. First and foremost, it brings the same horsepower or more than a diesel bus. Secondly, it runs a whole lot cleaner. And thirdly, propane is cheaper than diesel. So really, we have a great commodity here with the bus.
Now, this is a pilot program.
Yes.
So, kind of talk to me about the pilot and what do we hope to learn from this?
Well, what we hope to learn is that Glenver, the 10 buses we have here in Glenver, is the roughest and longest and shortest terrain that we have in Roanoke County. So we're going to run these 10 buses. We're going to do an extensive study on the mileage, the propane, the cost, and then hopefully, if it yields the results that we think it's going to, we'll expand throughout the county with it.
As you said, this is not only cost effective, but it is also energy efficient and also environmentally more friendly. Tell me about that.
Well, it's green. It burns, of course, pure. It's the same propane that you burn in your gas grill, and it's a straight emission to the motor. It has, of course, no emission smoke, or less emission smoke than of course, diesel does. And then purification of burning, it burns all the molecules and everything out once it comes out of the engine.
And the cost savings is considerable when you look at the comparison of some of the old diesel buses.
Considerable amount. We paid about $8,000 more for the propane bus, but with the price of propane compared to diesel, we've got to buy back in about 18 months. We'll have it evenly back to the square one, and then of course result a lot of savings then.
Yeah, and if you sit there and think about extrapolating this out to the entire fleet, the potential cost savings could be tremendous.
Tremendous, yeah. Honestly, we're talking millions. I mean, you get up into, or hundreds of thousands leading up to a millions because of the cost savings.
Tell me what drivers are thinking so far. These buses have been out on the road now for several months. What are they saying?
Well, in Glenver, their biggest concern and question was will it pull? With a busload of kids, will it pull? How's it drive? Yeah, they love it. Everybody loves it. Of course, it's a brand new bus. It drives well. It pulls well. It does everything that they can do. But the biggest thing that it does is that you get on a diesel bus with kids, a full diesel bus with kids, and it's loud. And one of the reasons it's loud is because they have to talk over the diesel engine. Now with the propane being as quiet as it is, they don't have to talk as loud, and the bus is quiet.
Yeah, we actually held a ribbon cutting event back in October and had several folks do a ride along, and everybody was astounded at how quiet the buses were.
I had one guy tell me standing right here in the parking lot, when are you going to cut it on? I said it is on, because we had people standing around talking, it was raining, but yeah, sure.
Tell me where you think this goes in the future. I mean, this is obviously, like I said, it's just a test. What do we really hope kind of comes out of this, and when do you think we might be able to move forward if we decide to expand?
Well, I hopefully that in the next budget cycle we take a serious look at possibly buying 5 more buses. The future, the long-range goal is that to make the whole fleet propane. And even if it comes to a point that propane and diesel are equal, the price of propane is the same as the price of diesel and everything, it's green. It's more energy efficient than diesel is. And of course, if you historically look at throughout the country of school divisions that use propane, less problems, less maintenance issues. So yeah, we're hoping for all of that.
Earlier you had mentioned a couple of great partners that we have involved, and really we couldn't do this without the help of Davenport and Carter.
Right. Yeah, Davenport Energy has of course stepped up as far as the infrastructure is concerned, and then Bluebird, Carter Machinery owns the franchise for Bluebird, and they've been absolutely fabulous. So 2 great partners. I mean, even to the fact that I use propane myself, and I now try to use Davenport because of how good they are.
Yep, it's great. It's a great opportunity, and it's a great resource. Another great way that we're really saving money here in Roanoke County Public Schools.
Yes, sir.
It absolutely is. You were talking, though, about the pull. Is it handling those hills okay?
It is. It's actually got 20 more horsepower. It's a Rouse Microtech propane engine, and it's got 20 more horsepower than it is. It's pulling great. I mean, no bogging down, not losing a lot of RPMs, which means naturally you've got to build back up. And that's what gets you with your diesel. Your RPMs go low. You have to build the RPMs back up, and you burn a lot of diesel. With this, your RPMs stay within 5 or 6, and it does well with them.
And one thing, actually, we're talking about, we're in the middle of the winter right now. These buses are much more winter friendly than the old diesel buses.
Chuck, that's a great point. The one thing that this bus does that we don't have to do, we have to do with the diesel, this bus will do it and the diesel doesn't, is we have to idle a diesel about 15 or 20 minutes. With these, you get in it fired up, propane's immediately to the engine, you're ready to roll. Heat's on and you're going.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's a great bus. We're looking forward to possibly more with this particular pilot program. Mike, again, thanks so much for being with us. And folks, stay right there. We've got more Accent Excellence coming up.
This is who I am. I can't do it alone. I'm a good person, and the truth is, I break the law. I ignore what my parents taught me, and I thought everything they said was a joke. No longer can it be said that I am my own person. I'll tell you one thing for sure. I've become a slave to the drinking crowd. I refuse to accept that I can be confident in myself and be popular without beer or drugs. A person like me can easily be forgotten. But wait, what if that's all wrong? What if I don't have to be forgotten? A person like me can easily be popular without beer or drugs. I can be confident in myself, and I refuse to accept that I've become a slave to the drinking crowd. I'll tell you one thing for sure. I am my own person. No longer can it be said that I thought everything they said was a joke. I ignore what my parents taught me and I break the law. The truth is, I'm a good person. I can't do it alone. This is who I am.
Hi, and welcome back to Accent Excellence. We're here at Northside Middle School, and joining me is science teacher Karen Perry Carroll and also student Shantavia Hudson. Folks, thanks for being with us. And Karen, we've got not a bat problem at Northside Middle School. We actually have a bat opportunity. Tell me what's going on today.
Well, we have become aware of the white nose syndrome that is affecting bats all over the world, actually, but it has found its way to Virginia. So the students are in the process of creating a nocturnal garden that will surround our bat houses so that we can provide an alternate place for the bats to habitat.
So Shantavia, tell me about this white nose syndrome. What's going on?
Well, it's like a mold that grows on the bat's nose, which wakes them up while they're in hibernation, and there's no resources or food for them to eat, which is why their population is decreasing.
And so tell me what the problem is that this particular syndrome is creating.
It's dropping the bat population, which is creating an increase in the insect population, and that's creating a problem.
So essentially things are kind of getting out of balance, aren't they?
They certainly are getting out of balance. We've lost more than 6 million bats since the year 2006. And they are huge pollinators. They are the only pollinator of the agave plant. They are huge pollinators of bananas. And I don't think that the world realizes what we are at the brink of losing.
Much like the issue that we're dealing globally with bees.
With bees.
Same thing here with bats.
Yes, very similar.
And so what are students at Northside Middle School doing here to try and help solve that problem?
Well, they have been challenged with creating a nocturnal garden that will attract the insects that will be available as a food source for the bats.
So tell me about the project itself. What are you working on specifically with your garden?
We're basically trying to find different plants that attract the insects, which the bat eats, and it's really all based around the nocturnal garden.
So describe to me, what is this nocturnal garden? Obviously, this will be outside. This is one of the bat houses. So where will the nocturnal garden be in relationship to the bat house here?
It really all depends on which group it is. Whichever group gets picked, they all have the different plants in different places. Like my group, since the bat houses are really in like a triangle shape, we put them in the middle of the bat houses, which all the bats can.
Tell me what has been the challenge with this project. What have you had to overcome in trying to figure out a way to help out bats?
Really just trying to figure out the different plants that attract the insects was the hardest part of the project.
How did this project come about?
It came about when I became aware of white nose syndrome. And so I used the project-based learning grant to purchase the houses. And I had the opportunity to go to a project-based learning workshop, and I was challenged with creating a rubric for my students, where my students could have input. And it just blossomed from there. The students just took the ball and ran with it. So this entire project is truly a student-based project that they've come up with. This was not something I said, here, you guys have to do this.
And it's not just a science project either.
Oh, absolutely not. I've had the opportunity to work with the math teacher, Mr. Adams, and Ms. Cutright, the English teacher, and we have a collaborative opportunity that we will launch next semester.
Tell me about the importance of that level of interdisciplinary learning, where this is no longer a science project, it's truly a school project.
When your students come into your classroom and they're so happy to be there and they're excited and eager to learn, you have successful learning. It means something to them. It's not just rote memorization. I think they'll remember this project forever, and I think that we will have some advocates for bats for a long time.
Tell me what it means to you to be helping out not just the community, but helping out a species that really is in great danger right now.
It means a lot. Like before the bat project, whenever I really thought about bats, I thought about Batman, not actually bats. So just being able to help out the population and maybe increase the population really means a lot.
Also just helps to raise awareness. Bats aren't so scary, are they?
Not at all.
A lot of fun. What do you hope that they take away from this project?
An awareness, just an awareness and a good stewardship to move forward.
It's a fantastic project. Another example of how we're seeing collaborative learning, not just here at Northside Middle School, but all throughout Roanoke County Public Schools. And to find out more, of course, we'll keep touch on this project as it continues to go, because there's still more to come on this project, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
So we will keep touch on that. And folks, we want to stay right there because we've got more Accent Excellence still to come.
If you like to work with your hands and want a rewarding career, then Burton Center for Arts and Technology can help you achieve your dream. Burton is home to a precision machining class with award-winning teachers and facilities that can jumpstart your career. You will shape, turn, and sculpt metal using state-of-the-art technology. You will also create 3D models using computer-aided drafting and computer-aided machining programs. If you are interested in this exciting career, check out Burton Center for Arts and Technology today.
There's a myth out there that somebody who's using drugs is engaged in a selfish habit, that they're not hurting anybody, and I can say that's not true at all. Every drug user has somebody that they've hurt, that they've not been there for because they're under the influence, or they're using their time and money to obtain drugs. I see a lot of people in the probation office who steal from family members, steal from friends and businesses, so I can truly say that a drug addiction and drug habit hurts everybody.
Hi, and welcome back to Accent Excellence. We're here at the William Byrd High School Library, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to Tim Greenway. He's the new school board member for the Vinton District. Mr. Greenway, first and foremost, welcome to the school board.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So first and foremost, let's talk about how you got here. So tell me the process. You're filling in kind of the last bit of a term.
Yes. So many years, I say many, back 8 or 10 years ago, I had my first request to think about running for the school board or even a board of supervisor position. And timing never was right, but as years went by, kids graduated and time became different, and obviously the importance of giving back to the community became evident, and it was just a good timing. Mike Stovall had stepped down. We were looking for someone to run for the unexpired term, and I decided it was a good time for me to do that and have a strong desire to give back to the community.
And you talk about community, you have a lot of connections to the Vinton community, don't you?
I do, and community is everything to me. It's extremely important. It's where a lot of my values come from, all of my history basically. I went through the school system. I graduated from Byrd in '82, went on to Radford and graduated in '86. And I come back to, you hear the old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I feel like that's the case. I think the village has raised me in a lot of ways.
Speaking of the village, and of course about your own family, tell us about your family and about yourself.
Well, my family, I'm married to a woman that graduated from Northside High School, Paula, and we've been married now 31 years. She is wonderful, the best thing that's happened to me. I've got 3 wonderful kids. I've got a daughter that's 30 years old, and she works at Wells Fargo, a son that teaches and coaches here at William Byrd, and I've got a younger daughter that just graduated from JMU and is finding her way into the career path, working through Carilion and as an athletic trainer, and also in the medical field. She hasn't decided. She may continue some education. So, but all of them have went through. All of my family pretty much has went through the Roanoke County school system, and most of them William Byrd.
So you really do have a very strong connection with your immediate family, and then also with some of your associated family here at the school system.
Absolutely. Friends and just extenuating. No, I couldn't even name all the folks that I have been touched by, in this community, that are in the school systems or work in the town government or Roanoke County government. But, it's just it's a true small town community, and I've been a big part of that and love it.
That experience has got to be extremely helpful as now you start to think about how to improve and help out not just the Vinton community, but the entire Roanoke Valley on the school board.
Yeah, it's, I do represent the Vinton district, but to me, the Roanoke County as a whole can play such a much bigger factor in the valley and continuing the educational experience of all of our children. And I've got one grandchild, another one coming, and hopefully several more. And I want that foundation to be there for them. It was there for me, and I want it to be there for them.
Well, we're into 2016 now, and you've been on the board now for a couple of months. Tell me your thoughts so far.
I thought this was a part-time job. So it's
first myth, right?
Yes, absolutely. It gives you a great appreciation for folks that are in public life. you think, well, it's just a school board, it's not that big a deal, but it's amazing the amount of work that goes into the school systems. The folks like yourself and others in various capacities, whether it be personnel or the education curriculum and the SOLs, and I won't name everybody because I'll leave somebody out, but it's just amazing the amount of staff and the dedication that they have to the Roanoke Valley.
We're starting what probably is the biggest process for the school board, and that's the budget. What challenges do you see going forward, especially for the next couple of months here?
Well, accounting's my background, and I love the numbers and I love the budget. But we've got 4 new board members, and any budget, no matter what your background is challenging the first several times until you get the process and get it down. So I think the budget is going to be a huge challenge for us to understand and to get our arms around. Now, there's some wonderful board members that have exited the stage, but I think they're still concerned with the Roanoke County, and I think we can lean on them and call upon them, and Dave Weimer, Fuzzy Minix, the gentleman from Windsor Hills that's losing, Drew Barano, and so I think all those folks would be happy for us to call and help us, but we'll get our arms around that and we'll move forward, but we want to make the educational experience as good as it's ever been and better.
What are you looking forward to the most?
Well, I'm looking forward to representing my community. As I've said, and as you can tell, it means everything to me. So, but I want to make a difference. I don't want that to be words. I want to make a difference, and I want our community to realize after I've been on this board that it's better than it was when I came on this board. And I feel like that's a huge challenge. We have many issues in Benton that may be unique to other districts or communities, and so there's just a lot of challenges, and I want to meet them and I want to exceed them, and of course, as Dr. Kilo's already recognized, one of the things for me was to get on the board, but once I get on the board, I truly feel compelled to work and work hard, and so I'm diving into all the issues that I can get into and be the best member that I can be.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and we greatly appreciate you joining us. Again, congratulations on joining the board. Again, Tim Greenway, our new Benton member for the Roanoke County School Board. So we appreciate you being here, and we appreciate you, and we want you to stick around because we've got a lot more Accent Excellence still to come.
People who are using heroin are not the typical destitute, marginalized persons, homeless in our society. This is not the profile of the typical heroin user today. Today, the typical heroin user is your neighbor next door. It is the young person who's going to high school. It is the young professional, and it is a growing problem.
I want to be a fashion designer.
I want to be a senator.
I want to be a teacher.
I want to be a professional athlete.
I want to be cool.
I want to be accepted. I want to fit in. I want to be popular.
I want to be invited to parties.
I don't want to be invisible anymore.
I want to be part of the in crowd.
You think you have to drink to be in the in crowd, but giving in to peer pressure isn't going to get you anywhere. Be true to yourself to accomplish your big dreams.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for this month's edition of Accent Excellence. If you'd like to learn more about Roanoke County Public Schools, be sure to check us out online, and don't forget to like us on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Chuck Lionberger. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.